Hi, in this video I'm going to talk about a very simple deep relaxation technique that engages your imagination and that you can use to shift yourself away from an intrusive thought. And intrusive thoughts, meaning also they could be called obsessive thoughts or obsessional thoughts. And also this technique would work for any negative repeating thought or thought pattern that you are wanting to shift yourself away from. I'm Orla Kirby. I am a therapist and I specialise in helping people to move themselves away from anxiety, particularly severe anxiety and or OCD. Okay, so this technique then started out one way and then I've adapted it a little bit over the years to work better for different kinds of people, right? So I am really visual and I really chimed with this technique. I actually first discovered it when I was doing hypnobirthing, right? And I'm sure there's many different versions of this. It's one of those ones that probably comes from several different places, in fact. So this is where you essentially imagine yourself as a 3D sculpture almost, right? Or kind of a 3D outline. So what I'm meaning by this is that you are seeing all of yourself in a 3D way, and you're able to see inside yourself, but you're not seeing your lungs and your stomach and everything that would actually be there, right? Like your heart and your liver, right? It's almost like you're just an outline, but you are the shape of you. You are you, if that makes sense. And then you are picturing that you are surrounded by a kind of cloud or a glow or a mist of a particular colour, right? And you can pick a colour that you really love. So you could pick like the orange of kind of a sunset was what I went for when I was doing hypnobirthing, right? So that kind of lovely pinkish soft orange that you get in sunsets or sunrises. So you want to go for quite a specific colour, right? Don't just go with blue because there's so many different kinds of blue. It's going to be harder for you to conjure that up when you want to or need to. So think, okay, I really like this colour. What is my favourite kind of that colour? Or just what shade of that colour I'm going to pick for the purposes of this exercise. And there are so many great ways that this can be useful. And it will, as I feel like I'm just repeating myself here because I say this a lot, but it will work better if you practice it in a time when you're not distracted and when you have the time to really give to it. And then you will improve in being able to use this when you're out and about or when there are lots of things going on or even in stressful or challenging situations. So you imagine that you're surrounded by this cloud of, let's say, this kind of soft, sunset-y kind of orange, right? And then as you breathe in, you're imagining that you're drawing into your body this lovely, soft, orangey colour, right? And it's filling up your body. And remember, you're a 3D outline, so we're not seeing all the actual insides of your body. Although if this works for you, right? There's no rules, so do what works for you. But when I do it, I'm imagining myself as a 3D outline, right? More like a shape. And I'm filling up entirely, I guess just because I feel like that lets me see and experience the colour more, right? Filling up entirely with this beautiful colour that feels great, that is wonderful, right? And then as I breathe out this colour, I'm imagining this leaving my body and going back into the cloud or mist that's all around me. And the whole time the cloud or mist is around me, right? The whole time. It's simply that when I'm breathing in, it's going into my body, but it's still around me. And then when I breathe out, that colour that was inside me is going out and rejoining the cloud and the mist around my body, right? And this is quite difficult to imagine, and that's part of why this is effective. It's part of why it works so well, is because there's a certain amount of imaginative effort, right? That's different to just imagining that particular colour. There's quite a lot going on here to imagine this effectively, right? You can choose any colour, right? And it might help to, look at different images online or in a book or a magazine, you know, or just go for a walk and look at colours around you and think, oh, what colours do I like? Right? It wants to be a colour that really connects with you, that feels connected to a particular emotion perhaps, or that just feels wonderful in some way, right? It wants to be a really like enjoyable colour for you, right? So this is the kind of original version of this that I was using. And a lot of clients that I taught this to really loved it and it really worked for them. Some clients though would say, oh, I find it difficult to visualize that. Or, you know, I'm more of a, you know, feeling person, or I'm more of a, you know, a sound person. And then when I started to learn about NLP as well, and I understood more about how this is a really big difference for us, and some of us really are a lot more kinesthetic or a lot more auditory based, right, a lot more sound based in our imaginative life. I thought, okay, right, I really need to do some work adapting this. I've also had clients kind of imagine themselves surrounded by a feeling, right? So you could be surrounded by excitement or love or curiosity or whatever emotion or feeling, or just a warmth, right? Just go with a physical feeling like warmth. Yeah, and then you're drawing that warmth inside you. Yeah, and then as you breathe out, the warmth is going back into the general warmth around you. Yeah, so that can work beautifully, and I've had people really enjoy using it that way. And then for more auditory people, there could be a way of imagining some kind of sound, right? So maybe you're inside like a favourite song, right? The song is all around you, and the song comes inside of you, that sound of it, those beautiful sounds come inside your body and then go back out into the sound or the song around you as you breathe out. Or I think I had one person do this with applause, right? With the sound of applause. So there's like a clapping or an applause sound all around you, surrounding your whole body, like following the shape of your body, the sound of applause. And as you breathe in, that sound of applause comes into your body, fills up the whole shape of your body. Oh, and then as you breathe out, that sound of applause goes back into that general sound of applause all around your body. Oh, and I'm sure you could think of other sounds too, right? You could use bird song, right? You could be surrounded by bird song, draw that into your body, and that goes back into that general sound of bird song around you as you breathe out. Or just any beautiful sound or sound that's meaningful or important to you, you could use. Yeah, so these techniques are always adaptable, and you can make of them what you want, right? And just, as I said at the beginning, the more that you practice this, just really encourage you to give it time, because sometimes it can seem very difficult if this isn't the sort of thing that you would do normally as part of your life. But it's really so worthwhile, because if you really develop this technique, it's a very immediate way into a relaxed state, right? Because you've associated the two things. It's a very relaxing, lovely thing to do anyway. And if you deliberately did this, once a day for 5 minutes, while putting yourself into a relaxed state, or, if you did it once a day for 20 minutes, then it would be even more profound, right? And then a little moments in the day, whenever you need to, which might be sometimes, or it might be a lot, right? Maybe, like if you're someone with OCD, it might be loads of the time that you want to be using this, right? And of course, there's all different levels and extents there. So you can't overuse this, right? This isn't something you can do too much of. But whenever in the day you're experiencing a thought that feels, negative, obsessive, intrusive, compulsional, you can shift yourself into a different state by going to this technique and surrounding yourself in this way with either that colour or that sound or that feeling. Then as you breathe in, you're drawing inside your body. And as you breathe out, it's going back into that shape around you. And simply, similar to the video before this with the other ways of relaxing, this is going to just shift you into a powerfully different state. And then in that different emotional state, where you feel really deeply calm And really with this one, there's also a kind of pleasure, right? It's about physical pleasure and enjoyment because you're really connecting with your senses and with your imagination. So whether it's a sound or a colour or a feeling, you want to go for something that feels pleasurable, pleasant, enjoyable, right? And then so you are going for deep calm here, and also that sense of pleasure and enjoyment, right? And if you were in this state of being really calm and connected with a sense of pleasure and enjoyment, that thought can't quite exist in the same way, right? It simply can't. So it's going to shift a bit, or it's going to disappear or become weaker, or you are going to feel really different about it, right? And the impact of that will get more the more that you practice this technique, right? Think of it as something that you want to apply again and again, and each time you're making a bit of a shift, right? Yeah, so, you know, it will also work quite well to combine this technique, whether it's a colour or it's a sound or a feeling. It's going to work well to combine this with either breathing or with relaxing your eyes or with muscle relaxation, right? Or with all three. Or you could just pick two of those, right? So this imaginative technique where you embody this sound or this feeling or this colour is going to work quite well with any of those techniques from the last video, right? So if you haven't seen it, go back and watch the last video in this series where I talk a bit about breathing and muscle relaxation and eye defocusing, because these are all ways of accessing deep relaxation, and it's kind of like the two things are going to help each other out. So the imaginative work that you're doing here with the technique from this video will help out the breathing or the eye relaxation or the muscle relaxation, and vice versa. They will help each other work even more effectively. Okay, well, thanks so much for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one, which I think is on, this is on kind of gratitude work and noticing what is, noticing what's good, and how that can help redirect away from intrusive thoughts. See you in the next one.